Hello, welcome back to another Rose City Reptiles video. I'm Joey. This is Rose City Reptiles, and in this video we are going to talk about, that's right, brumation. As you can tell by the title, this is part one of the brumation series. Now I'm going to break it into two parts because how I deal with brumation and how you deal with brumation may be two entirely separate things. So in this video we're going to go over a little bit of common questions that I get and show you guys a little bit of how we deal with brumation here. And then what I want you guys to do, drop your comments down below. Every single one of you all have questions about it. Drop your questions down below, and in the next video I will answer all of those questions. So so part one is what we're doing right now. Part two will be answering all of your questions that you guys have, because I want to make sure that I address that and just bring some clarification into what brumation is and what that's going to look like for you, especially if you're a first-time Tegu owner and this is your first winter to deal with it. First of all, let's just get a basic understanding of what brumation is. Brumation is very simple. It's a kind of like a defense mechanism for these animals, these cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded, what that means is that they depend on their environment for their temperature. So if it's cool outside, they're cold. If it's hot, they're hot. I know there's some studies that show a little bit different information, but that's still true for the most part. And so when it cools off in their native area, they don't have the energy to hunt, and there's definitely like a lack of food around when it's cooler. And so the best thing for the Tegu is to go to sleep. I mean, it's really an incredible thing that they can sleep for months and wake up looking fantastic. What I would really like to do with you guys with this series, if we can call it that, the two-part series, is really just tackle this brumation together. Let's do it together. I want to hear your questions. Drop them down below. So now I'm standing in front of one of my enclosures, the enclosure to Elsa, and she is definitely down. I have not seen her in a while. She turned down a few meals before she went down, and she's asleep. So we're gonna get in there, we're gonna check on her, and I'm gonna show you how we, this sounds bad, package them up. We put them in totes. That's because I keep them outside for most of the year, and then when they go to sleep, I bring them inside. We're gonna get to that. So Elsa, she quit eating on her own. She knew. She quit eating and she went down. Now, the most common question that I get is, how do I know when they're going down? It's all about food. So your Tegu will sometimes, when kept inside in its enclosure, sometimes it'll wake up middle of brumation, come out and bask for a little bit. That's okay. Do you offer it food during that time? What do you think? No, you don't. You do not offer it food until you know for a fact that it is up for good. Now the reason for that is, back to the whole point of brumation, is the fact that they're cold-blooded and they can't digest that food appropriately without the warmth, okay? So if they're buried under the substrate for a week and they've got, Thanksgiving inside of them, that's gonna cause some problems, and it can actually lead to death. It can. I've seen that happen before, where people feed their Tegus when they wake up for just a couple days. They feed them and then their Tegu goes back to sleep and it dies. Most Tegus are not going to eat. They know better. They're not going to eat if they know they're going back down. But not every Tegu is that way. You guys have them, I have them, we all know there are Tegus around who will not ever turn down a meal, which is a great thing, but it can be a very bad thing when we're talking about brumation. So that's when we have to use our minds and know when to feed them and when to not. So if brumation is going on, like, I would never, if she came out today, I would not feed her. She is done. She's not getting any more food from me until she wakes up from brumation. So yeah, some people get scared. Their first brumation, their Tegu goes down, goes to sleep, and they're like, I'm worried about them. It's fine. Tegu knows what it's doing. If your husbandry is on point, then it's fine. You don't have to worry about it. These guys are smart. But yeah, so let's check on her, and I'm gonna put her in a tote and show you guys kind of how we deal with brumation. But like I said in the beginning of the video, how we deal with it may not be how you deal with it. So I want to make sure that I address exactly how you guys are dealing with it. Most of you probably have enclosures inside, and that's going to be really easy and ways, you know, just much easier, less things to do, and we're going to address that with your questions. Make sure you drop your questions down below. But okay, let's get her out. I'll be right back. For our substrate that we use for our brumation tubs is hay. So nothing fancy. You can use really most things. You can use the substrate that's in their enclosure, that's fine. Mulch, dirt, whatever you have. We keep hay on hand for nesting when they're breeding, and then we use it in their totes for brumation. So we fill the tote up like this, and let's go get the tegu. Okay, so we are now inside of the enclosure, as you can see, and we are going to check on her, pull her out. Let me show you guys. I moved the brick, the log, and this is the top of the hide. So let's open up and see what we are working with. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw that. There's a couple lizards over there, gecko in the back. So you can see she is, look at it. She did a beautiful job. Look at the little lizard, look at that. Oh, so she did a fantastic job of putting this together. It really is amazing. Look at that little guy. You can see our hides. They've got these habitat heaters on here made by Zoomed. They work really great. I don't have them on right now. Those are mainly for the beginning of spring, but yeah, she is in here somewhere. You can see she's used hay, leaves, sticks, mulch. She's used it all. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. I'm holding the top up with my head while and like I said, I haven't seen her for at least a few weeks. There she is, all the way down at the bottom, sleeping away. She is. So she's not happy. But look at her. Perfect shape, perfect health. Of course, she does not like being dug up like that. But that's her, looking beautiful and wonderful. Super happy with that. But we're gonna put the lid on. Look at Van being curious. Like, what are y'all doing? Van, leave us alone. So, we got her boxed up. I'm gonna put this back together and then show you what we do next. All right, so it's actually it's not very cool in Texas yet. Our first cold front is coming through this week. So, and by cool front, I mean highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. So she went down while it was still hot out. It was still in the 90s. You know, right now it's in the high 80s, low 90s. It's hot. Oh, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. So temperatures do not always play a role in brumation. Okay, obviously you can make your tegu brumate if you cool it down, because it has no other choice, because it's cold-blooded. It's gonna slow down, it's gonna go to sleep. But your tegus can go to sleep. They can sense a lot more than we can. I don't know a ton about it, the pressure, and they know when the seasons are changing before the temperature actually changes. So don't be alarmed if your tegus start going down before it even cools down, because fall in Texas does not mean that it's cool at all. So we put her hide back together, got her enclosure set back up, forgot to put the brick on it, but we've got her in here. You know, I've got some air holes cut in the container, but I heard her digging down to the bottom in here, and she's she's gonna treat this just like she treated that. She's gonna go to sleep. She's fine. So I'm gonna bring her inside and get her set up and bring y'all along with me. Actually, I decided I'm just gonna end the video outside here and just tell you what we do, because you don't really have to see it. We keep our brumating adults around in the 60s, okay? And we randomly have a closet inside in the master bedroom that stays like at 61 degrees, 62. And that works really well. You can keep them at your house temperature. You can keep them at 70. It's fine. That is perfectly fine. You don't want to keep them too warm though, because I mean, that would keep them in some type of limbo. That would probably keep their metabolism going and be harder for them to cool down. They need to be able to cool down and slow down. That's what they need. So that just depends on your, I'm watching Tegu over there take a drink, Pumpkin. That just depends on your enclosure, the depth of your substrate, you know, but you can dig down in there and check your temperatures in the substrate. 99% of the time it's fine. Just brumate them right there in their enclosure. Now, this is gonna be a question that you guys are gonna drop below, probably. Keep lights on or keep them off. That's a big question. That's coming in part 2. If you guys have that question, I don't know, you may. So make sure you drop your comments, your questions down below. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight. Oh, and also our babies, look, these tubs are gone. I got one gone here. I've got to bring in a few more. They're going inside. So the babies, we set them up differently than the adults. I'm gonna show that later. I'll make another video updating you guys on the babies and how we have them set up inside. That's a little different than how we do the adults. So, but yeah, I hope this is a good starter for you guys that have questions about brumation. Don't worry about it. Drop your questions and we'll do a Q&A, I guess, style video next. So this video is gonna go up Monday. Ask your questions, then I'll respond sometime next week. So that'll be really good to answer those specific questions that you guys are gonna have. So just a quick recap here. Tegus go down, I tote them up, bring them inside, keep them cool. I don't feed the entire brumation, and 2 weeks before I brumate them. So these Tegus, all the other ones, they're now going off food, and I'm going to box them up after the cold front moves through this week. I'm going to leave them out here for now, let them feel that cool front. They're going to go down. Jasmine's, I'm boxing her up later today because she's been down for a long time, like a month already. All these guys, I'm going to box them up probably next weekend. So I'll let them stay out here in the cooler 50-degree weather this week, and then box them up and bring them inside. So that's about it. That's how I do things, but that, like I said, that's going to be different than how you do. So we're going to do the Q&A. But thank you guys so much for watching. Channel is doing amazing, really well, and I appreciate you guys so much for watching and for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. And let's tackle this brumation topic together. All right, bye.